Gilden mist gathers. Guild blood pulses. Calling forth the fearless. In the hunt for hallowed riches, the greatest threat may not be monsters. The fallen forfeit all. The law is simple, yet merciless. Will you return triumphant, or become another offering?
PlayStation.
This might get stuck in your head.
Cool. Love you, bro. Yes. And just don't worry, like, then the comic's not like required. Cool. Love you, bro. Yes. And just don't worry, like, then the comic's not like required reading, but it is really good, and it does add a lot. So if you can pick it up, it's worth it.
We also
it will be available on, it actually is part 1 online on Marvel Unlimited, so huge shout out to the Marvel publishing team for putting it up, so you can get it online as well.
Sick.
Nice. Going on to, expanding story, and the important parts of stories are usually music, comics, all sorts of different iterations. So I want to talk about Marcus, with you. We all know that music is a critical part of this story. Then I heard that we have an exciting update in regards to Marvel Wolverine's composer.
Yes, I'm happy to announce that our composer for Marvel's Wolverine is David Fleming, who is an Emmy Award winner. You may have heard his music as a co-composer on Last of Us HBO show. He won an Emmy for his work on Ron Howard's documentary Idea Man about Jim Henson, which is fantastic. And then my personal favorite is he just got nominated for an Emmy for his work on Widow's Bay.
Nice.
Yeah, we're super proud of this, and everybody being able to work with him. He's a brilliant composer. We also have a little treat for you. So tonight, the theme song from the game, which is called Logan, good name, will be released, but we're going to have a little snippet here. The Disney Music Group did an amazing job sort of getting it out there, so you can hear it fully tonight, but right now, here's a little preview. just a little taste. As you notice too, the soundtrack is going to be coming out August 28th. So there's so much, right?
Yeah,
There's so much.
Also, a special shout out to the Disney Music Group for assembling it all.
Hell yeah. Round of applause for that.
Would anyone want me to throw them out there or something? I don't know.
Yes, Liam.
Is that something people want?
Do it.
I'll do that.
You're going to throw claws into the
I'll
audience?
just throw. They're not as
They're
sharp
foam.
as you think.
They're
foam. Make believe. Carry on.
Oh man. Well, I will say what's fascinating at this part of, every part of this game, it just seems to explore a different side of Logan, as we've talked about. We've talked about the warrior. We've talked about the survivor. And the enemies standing in his way, right? But great characters have a way of reaching beyond a single story that led to some really exciting collaborations that expand how fans get to engage with this character. In fact, I hear that there's something in the works with Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. Is that right, Eric?
Yeah, that's right.
Turning my chair, Mike. I'm going to listen.
Mike, tell us what's going on with that.
So I want to set the table a little bit. I wonder if anybody in the audience has played Marvel Spider-Man or Miles Morales or Spider-Man 2?
Pick me.
So those few lucky people know that unlocking and crafting iconic suits from the long and storied history of these characters is really fun, and it is great to pick sort of your favorite look. In Marvel's Wolverine, we continue that tradition because Wolverine has taken on so many awesome costumes over the years. When we saw Marvel Tokon and the Wolverine in that game, we were like, holy cow, that is a look. I want that in our game. Which is, of course, tricky because these games are developed at the same time. It's not looking back in history. But today, I'm super proud to announce that we made it happen. We took a suit inspired by Marvel Tokon and crafted one in our game that brings that spirit and that appearance to life.
Yeah.
And there it is.
It's awesome.
Let's go.
Looks awesome. Oh my gosh. And that's what I love about Comic-Con, is seeing creative worlds collide and come together. And I heard that there's more to this collab. So how did this collab come to life, and what more can you share?
Sure. So at the heart of it, Marvel Games and SIE connected us together. When we saw what Arc System Works was cooking, it's clear that this was a perfect fit for a crossover. So in addition to us taking inspiration from their suit, we're also super excited to announce that Insomniac's original suit design, the Battle Reborn suit, has been brought to life in Marvel Tokon as well.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Oh.
Here it is.
Wow.
So what that collaboration looked like was, once we sort of shook hands on it, we traded concept art, 3D models, renders. We
Combat data integrated into battle matrix. Initiating swift victory protocol. Subroutine engaged. Prepare yourself. Kinetic energy. Focusing. Kinetic energy. This is not a drill. Focusing. Continuing offense. Calibrate. Escape routine active. Subroutine engaged. Autonomous unit go. Bots deployed. Hollow beam. Target lock achieved. Rotating. Beam engaged.
You stand against the Black Panther, so you stand against Wakanda. Witness the blessing of the Divine Panther. You should pay attention. I'm getting the hang of this. Take this! Training provides the bedrock of your future. Surrender or face the wrath of the Panther! Now we see. I stand and you fall. Vibranium daggers! Now you understand? The power of the Panther! Here I go! I'm here! Face my fury! The wisdom of Wakanda can stop the Panther! Catch! I pounce! Please, brother, lend me your strength! Yaru!
Switching gears tonight, a new decision by Sony causing a major shakeup in the entertainment world.
Our neighbors are coming over.
You're in for a treat. There's something I've been wanting to talk about.
We also have something to talk to you about. So, can anyone do anything to anyone?
Switching gears tonight, a new decision by Sony causing a major shakeup in the entertainment world. The company announcing that starting in 2028, it will no longer produce physical copies of their games, moving towards. Switching gears tonight, a new decision by Sony causing a major shakeup in the entertainment world. The company announcing that starting in 2028, it will no longer produce physical copies of their games, moving towards digital-only content. This move could result in a big blow to businesses that rely on physical media, like one resale shop in Jamestown. Our Southern Tier reporter Adam Beam bringing us the store's owner, who is worried about the announcement.
The days of physically owning the media that you love may soon become a thing of the past. An announcement by Sony last week is not only set to impact consumers, but the businesses that provide it to them as well. For businesses like Gamers Haven in Jamestown, the name of the game is physical media, whether a video game, movies, or music. But a major shakeup in how customers consume that entertainment could pose a risk to this business and others like it. Last week, Sony announced that starting in 2028, the production of physical copies for their games will be discontinued.
A lot of the digital services only have so much on them. From what I'm seeing, they're showing that they're raising the prices of the digital market games, while at the same time not producing a physical copy, which gives people less options.
Everything going digital. Everything's going to be $70, $80 games. Nobody's going to buy them.
I would say it's a bit immoral on the grounds that if buying isn't owning, then how is piracy stealing?
And they're not alone. Users across the internet have been firing back at the notion of not owning your own games, but not owning any of your own media. As PlayStation users were also notified that over 500 film and television titles they had already purchased will be removed due to content licensing agreements.
And it's truly about owning what you pay for. It's about having that choice and about keeping something forever that isn't reliant on a corporation's servers or literally their whim.
The move is also being felt across borders. Lee Swarrick is part of the online retailer P&P Games in Canada. After the risk to their business became known, they started an online petition, and as of Wednesday, it's gained over 200,000 signatures and counting.
It's the falsehood of there not being a demand for this thing, and the petition showing that there very, very clearly is.
Now, as mentioned, these changes don't take effect until 2028, and those opposing the decision hope that it can be reversed, so it doesn't mean game over for the entertainment they love. Adam Beam, 7 News, Jamestown.
Adam, thank you. And he covers the area of south of Erie County. You can reach out to
Sony says it will still make physical video game discs for its PlayStation after 2028, but only as long as the game comes out before then. Anything released after 2028 will be digital only. Sony has said it's discontinuing physical discs, and that is generating a negative response from the gaming community. The company has reportedly invested millions of dollars in repurposing its video game factory in Austria to make other products. So what does this tell us about analog versus digital media debate that is constantly ongoing? To find out more, we're joined now by Nico Stratus. She's a Toronto-based writer and pop culture critic. Nico, thanks so much for making time for us today.
Oh, thanks so much for having me.
Nico, I gotta tell you this, we talked about so many stories in the meeting today. Nothing got people chatting like this particular one, including in the commercial right up to talking to you. My colleague Jan, our floor director, said, "This is terrible. I can't believe Sony's doing this." Why are so many people so upset about this?
I mean, it speaks to a broader issue of we kind of no longer own anything. There's no object permanence in the world anymore. You know, every service we have is a subscription. There's no, you know, physical media is rapidly being torn away from us. If we buy something digitally, whether or not we really own it is a really nebulous feeling. So it is just this, it is like another sort of nail in the coffin of, well, what do we actually own? What are we pouring all our money into? What is, you know, we're putting all our money into, you know, all these subscriptions and buying things digitally and whatever, but like, are we just throwing our money into a pit and hoping that eventually we get to keep the pit when it's all done? And you know, it's sort of, it's a challenging question because we don't really know at the end of the day of, well, what do I actually have?
Well, Sony says that they're doing this because this is what the consumer wants, and this is part of a bigger, broader trend with, as you said, all things becoming less physical and more digital. Is that true? Is that what people want?
I tell you, Capital really loves to say what the consumer wants without ever really talking to the consumer, right? Because you do, whenever something like this happens, and especially this, with the PlayStation 1, it's really interesting to see this big reaction to it because I think it just speaks to a broader issue of, we are seeing a lot of people talking about this. I've read a lot of stories about, you know, younger generations are seeking out physical media and analog things, and an older generation is, you know, wanting to hold on to the physical media of the past and to feel like they're still able to buy a physical thing because this is how we grew up and this is what we're used to. And so, you know, when companies like Sony or whomever say, well, this is what the consumer wants, it might be what the consumer's buying because it's the easiest and best option, but it's not necessarily what they want. It's just all they're getting.
So a lot of people, as I said, are expressing their anger against Sony for this, but does that make any real difference? I mean, will Sony adapt accordingly, or do we all just in the end up submitting and doing what these big corporations want us to do?
I mean, I want to say that, you know, with a big enough public outcry that Sony's going to reverse course, that means that Sony's a different corporation. You know, like, I don't think they're going to hear people saying, we really want to keep buying, you know, video games on CDs. And this isn't even narrowed down to just video games. There was an issue with people buying, you know, movies that Sony has released through their production, through their, you know, their movie line on, you know, the PlayStation or whatever, through a digital service. And suddenly when Sony no longer had the rights to them, all these movies that they had purchased were taken away from their library. So, you know, I would hope that with a big enough public outcry, Sony would say, you know what, we're going to rethink this decision because people don't like this. But in the last few years, especially, I don't think we've seen large corporations like this be really at the whim of the consumer. You know, they're kind of just doing whatever works best for the bottom line of their, you know, their brass, their CEO, whomever, their stakeholders. They're not really concerned about what the consumer wants, no matter how loud they might be.
Nico, part of the reason this topic got so much discussion in our newsroom is because so many of us responded with, look, my social media feed is telling me that everyone is rejecting the digital world, that they want to return to a more analog experience in all matters of life. They want to read an actual book. They want to knit something. They want to sew something. They want to craft. They want hobbies again. They just don't want to doom scroll all day. And then the conversation became, well, is that reality, or is that again what a major conglomerate like Meta wants us to believe on their platform?
I think the proof of the pudding is in the taste a little bit with that, because I know enough people in the world that are engaging more with analog technology, which is, you know, like, I'm of the right vintage. I'm in my 40s, so like all the stuff that people are taking on as vintage stuff now is just the technology that I grew up with. But I will say that I am seeing it in the world more and more, and I think that's an important part of it too. It sort of speaks to this digital versus analog debate of, you know, like you said, is this just a thing that we're seeing influencers on Meta posting about, or TikTok or what have you, or are people in the real world doing it? And I think people in the real world are doing it because we're seeing the market adapt to it. You know, in terms of music, we're seeing companies start to make Walkman again.
First thing was shock. Like, we've been anticipating it'll happen at some point.
The end of an era.
Zero. First thing was shock. Like, First thing was shock. Like, we've been anticipating it'll happen at some point.
The end of an era is coming, and it may be game over for physical video game media. Sony, who owns PlayStation, has announced plans to stop production of physical copies of their games in 2028, but that move is impacting local game trader businesses.
It just seems to feel a lot more like for the fans kind of thing, whereas now it's just, it really feels like it's bottom line, bottom line, bottom line. That's what it feels like their focus has become, and it's really unfortunate because I think, for gamers, from yesterday and today, there's a passion to gaming kind of thing.
High-Tech Game Traders, a local store in Saskatoon, has operated here since 1998. Over those 28 years, Umair Khan says other stores are starting to focus more on other merchandise, straying away from games, and he might have to do the same, but not without potential issues.
It's like, for us, Pokemon trading cards and Funko Pops and plush and, limitless kind of collectibles and merch, right? So, so for us, hopefully speaking, like we're going to be okay kind of thing. But saying that, our bread and butter is still video games. That's the main reason people know us. That's the main reason people come to us.
Buying games online versus getting a physical copy does have its differences. When you buy an online game, you don't actually own the game, but rather a license to use it. So the company could delist it.
We just saw this recently with actually movies through Sony kind of thing, through the PlayStation Store. I believe it was about 550 movies just got delisted. So even if you had spent your money on that movie, whether it was $8 or $15 or whatever kind of thing, they're delisted now. So you don't get to own that movie anymore. You're not getting a refund on that movie either.
He says the decision by Sony is a reflection of where the gaming industry is and where it's going, but he questions whether it's the right move.
We've seen like Xbox has really, kind of gone towards the digital side of things. Xbox has been on really, shaky waters kind of thing too. They haven't had success this generation, and they're making a lot of changes with their company as well. And that's what really surprised me about Sony's decision.
Customers aren't happy about the change either.
I mean, even today I've had like 4 or 5 conversations. Everyone's just like, again, disappointed. They're like, what's Sony doing?
Khan is one of many in the gaming industry who hopes the backlash Sony has received will persuade them to change their mind. Ashley Behrens, Global News.
In Georgia, almost anyone can buy a car, even if
we pretty much just
It is the end of an era for PlayStation. Sony says it's going to soon stop making physical discs for PlayStation games. Starting in 2028, new PlayStation games will be available on the PlayStation Store and at retailers in digital formats only. Sony says the change aligns with consumer preference for digital media, which significantly outpaces physical discs. It is the end of an era for PlayStation. Sony says it's going to soon stop making physical discs for PlayStation games.
it's the end of an era for gamers. Sony says that all games for PlayStation consoles.
How do better cows lead to better grades? When you get the right partners together, the potential is endless. The Gates Foundation, partners of human potential.
It's the end of an era for gamers. Sony says that all games for PlayStation consoles. It's the end of an era for gamers. Sony says that all games for PlayStation consoles will be released in digital format only beginning in 2028. But as our Ian Hardwitt finds, at one shop, there's something nostalgic about owning a physical copy.
First try. Gotta spruce them up a little bit.
When the cartridge doesn't work, Mason Berry says blowing on it is actually the worst thing you can do.
Yeah, these pins do corrode. Third try, the charm.
Berry likes to share. It's why he started Cardinal Gaming 10 years ago and still works out of the New Cut Road location.
Let's go play through this game that I remember playing as a kid with my kids, you know, so it's super fun. We'll have Super Nintendo carts that 50 years from now, you know, that are still working, and you're still able to pick them up and play them just like you would, you know, when they were released.
But that sort of future may not stick around. Sony announced starting in 2028, all its games will be digital downloads over the internet. Sony calls the shift for PlayStation natural. There's not as many physical sales going on, and you can see that on the shelves here. All these blue spines are PS4 games, and the newer PS5 games, well, there's just not as many of them coming in the door. Brian Beam's here to complete his original Nintendo collection. He just started losing to his kids in Mario Kart.
So we got a Switch 2 for my family. My kids love it, but that's my last new system.
Because he says he doesn't feel like he owns a digital download. It may not be available forever.
At this point, for most game companies, it seems to be all about money.
Lucy Thomas came in for a PlayStation 4 just so she could play one disc on it.
That should, I think, stay a big part of gaming. It's part of the culture, and if you get rid of the culture in gaming, that kind of takes away everything else, honestly.
The digital move also keeps buyers corralled in fewer markets and eliminates the secondary one entirely.
Just like any hobby, you know, you want to be able to hopefully get some sort of return back out of it.
But Barry says the biggest return comes from the decades of joy and nostalgia.
You know, if you want something on the shelf or you want something that is yours and you can pass down or give away or give it to a friend or have a good time being able to share games, we're definitely losing that.
A loss that comes as the companies gain. Reporting in Louisville, Ian Hardwitt for WHAS 11 News. On your side.
Grant.
Sony is faced with an almost $2 billion lawsuit, which claims that Sony
Sony is being sued. This is crazy. Breaking news.
The other day I covered.
Hey there, Gamer, Troopcast Guy here. Today we're talking about PlayStation, and I have to admit that this backlash actually makes me mad.
PlayStation Network is down again for
Sometimes you just have to point and
well. Well.
happen at some point for consoles, if not PlayStation 6 and the PS7. Full game digital sales in PlayStation have gone from less than 10%
So
Sony CEO just said 3 words that explain every price hike of the last 3 years. Subscribe before the PS6 price hits, and nobody warns you. Horoki Toki told Sony CEO just said 3 words that explain every price hike of the last 3 years. Subscribe before the PS6 price hits, and nobody warns you. Horoki Toki told Bloomberg that Sony was, quote, forced to change. Not chose to change, forced, because China priced them out of televisions, cameras, and consumer electronics entirely. So PlayStation became the only engine keeping Sony alive. More than 60% of Sony's total revenue is now entertainment, and gaming is the biggest piece of that 60. That is not a gaming company protecting its fans. That is a corporation protecting its last profitable product. The $600 PS5, the $900 Pro, and whatever the PS6 costs were never about giving you better value. They were about survival math that has nothing to do with you. Now that the CEO confirmed it, is PlayStation still worth your money, or did Sony just answer that question for you?
God for that. I'm gonna tell you something, man. I had pre-ordered.
Hello, this is Broly. Hello.
They need to learn a lesson that you cannot treat your players like trash, like nothing. They don't talk to people. They don't. They need to learn a lesson that. Hello, this is Broly, SS Guide. And I'm back with another video. This video, I want to touch more upon the subject about how Sony used Black Ops digital version, right? Black Ops 1 and 2. Okay? Now they used it and they sold it on, I think for PlayStation Plus for a cheap price. And I heard that it outsold Grand Theft Auto within that time period. But not, globally, but like, in that time period it outsold Grand Theft Auto 6, right? Keep in mind, it's Black Ops, okay? If you notice it, they gotta rely on heavy, heavy, heavy hitters of games to push this kind of numbers. And keep in mind as well, people have digital consoles. So what would make you think that somebody with a digital console won't buy the game? Which is whether it's either Grand Theft Auto or Call of Duty. Now, notice that there isn't a disc version for those games. And keep in mind, again, as I said before, people are all digital. The ones that have all digital copies, consoles, of course they're going to buy an all digital game, right? So my thing is, how are people saying this is for protesters? Protesters are the one buying up all these. No, you can't prove that. That's all. Those, to me, in my opinion, maybe some did, but the majority of those are actually from the digital side. That's how I look at it. This is the thing, right? Sony can only do that with so many type of titles, like that kind of game. You know, those two games, Grand Theft Auto and also Call of Duty. Now let's just say they made, I don't know, Marathon 2. And let's see if those sales go extremely well digitally. You know what I'm saying? Let's see Concord 2. And let's see those sales go very well digitally, right? Now let's see them make, you know, fair games 2 digitally. And let's see how well those games sell digital wise. Let's see how it just outshines the physical version. You see what I'm saying? Like they are picking games that hit above their weight. So you mean tell me that your investors are happy to see one or two games that sells the most out of any other game that they can put out, I mean, that they can offer you? Come on, you gotta be realistic. Those are the only two games that will sell that well digitally. So what I'm saying is they had to rely on those kind of games to get those kind of numbers in the store. And again, I must say most digital players probably bought the game over the physical players. The ones that want to see physical die, keep that in mind. A lot of them don't like physical. They got like as a physical is like kryptonite. Oh, physical. It's gonna die. Get rid of physical. They can't stand it. It's like green kryptonite to them or something. You know what I mean? Or like red kryptonite. They get either mad or weak by it, same thing. You know what I mean? Like they just can't take the physical. It's just weird, man. We would own nothing and be happy. It's like I don't know, bro. It's just weird. It's like they just, I don't know, a hive mind. Like Brainiac is Sony, and they're like little puppets of a Brainiac. They just obey everything that Brainiac says or some shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just weird, dude. A hive mind. We will obey Sony. Man. But like I said, just because that's so well does not prove anything that the protesters are the one that bought it. Make that make sense. You know what I'm saying? Some sick of saying that. That if the protest has failed. No, it hasn't. The protest was rigged. How about that? It was rigged to look like the protesters did it because they know majority, not majority, but a lot of digital players will buy the game. They knew that. I'm pretty sure some of them that have owned digital, I'm sorry, physical as well, probably bought it too because they never probably played before. But I'm pretty sure that most of the digital people with digital consoles probably bought the game over the physical players. You know what I'm saying? So I look at it like that. And yet again, those are the only two games that actually do that for Sony. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, I don't know, probably like 2K as well. I don't know. It's hard to say. They like them sports games like that. But that's my little rant though. Like I don't agree with people saying it as far as like the protesters failed. I don't They wanted to fail. They want us to just brush it under the rug and just act like it never happened. As far as Sony's coming out saying like no more physical copies. But we aren't gonna let it go. And I will continue to make videos about it. I'm not done. Just because I took a few days off from making those videos about it. I just been streaming with like some DC Universe and Marvel. You know what I'm saying? So like give it a little break and also just wanted to play some games, Cause I'm more of a gaming channel, but I like to also keep up with the news about certain things that I like. You know what I'm saying? Things that interest me. So like this right here is a big topic and I do wanna give up my opinion about certain things, but I'm not a gaming insider or I'm not a gaming news channel, but I am a gaming channel. Period. But I just like to cover things that piques my interest, and I want to talk about it, just give my opinions and my point of views of the situation. But anyway, I'm primarily gaming, superheroes, shooters, horror games. You name it, I pretty much play those type of games. um, yeah, that's about it, guys. Yeah, like I said, let's just reverse the situation. Like, let's just put in baby steps over in baby steps 2, and let's see how well that sells digitally. You see what I'm saying? Like, they're cherry picking what games to make the most money off of to share to show the world, like, look, see, I told you guys it's more digital out here more than physical. It's mostly digital gamers out here. Man, they're full of shit. It is full of shit. Like how they lie about the numbers of the physical versus digital, the physical outsold the digital, and like so many games is pathetic. They're liars. They're just straight up liars, bro. But that proves to me nothing. I'm sorry, it doesn't prove to me anything. Besides, they just know how to make things look like it's more than it appear to be. Like the movie from Transformers, the old model, what this is, Transformers, it's more than meets the eye. Same with fucking Sony. It's more than meets the eye with them niggas. You ain't gotta watch them niggas like a Hulk, bro. You know what I'm saying? That show you Sony is the lord of illusions. I put it like that, bro. I see that now. I said the title of that shit too. Yeah, Sony, Lord of Illusions. Here, look, guys. See this? You guys love digital. When you got most of your players on that's on digital, so it's gonna buy it up. Of course, they're gonna buy that crap digitally. I didn't buy it. I'm not really much of a Black Ops fan like that for real. And you know what? The protests that we have right now, and the ones that's like that's not even in our community, PC, Xbox, celebrities, restaurants all around the world, that pretty much maxes out. That's a bigger number of people compared to Sony's 90 million subscribers, of 90 million players. You gotta think this is worldwide now. Worldwide now. This thing is out there from Fox 5 News, CNN News, I think it was CBS News probably. It's out there, man. So our numbers is really being shown that hey, we're being heard, and we're also being having some lawmakers checking to Sony, investigating Sony, and suing Sony. So this ain't all for nothing. Our um our anger, frustration, and our voices are being heard by lawmakers. So it's not rah rah rah, and Sony doesn't care. Fuck Sony. Right now, it's not about so. Right now, it's about some saying it's like it's pretty much about us getting heard from lawmakers to help us do something about this. They can change the law about what Sony's doing. You see what I'm saying? So they're getting hit in multiple angles of how to take Sony down in this situation. So we have a good chance this can actually go our way. So I don't want to keep hearing stuff like, "Oh, Sony ain't gonna say anything. Sony ain't gonna do." Okay, they'll be forced to say something. Then they're gonna be forced to bend their knee once these lawmakers get to the ass. And on top of that, if you start seeing developers saying no to Sony and skipping them completely and going to PC, Xbox, and Nintendo only, Sony's gonna be hurting. Yeah, they will be hurting. See, one thing about me, I'm not gonna sit here and kiss Sony ass because I want a game or because I don't have faith in the community that we can actually pull this off and win it. I'm not gonna do that to you guys. I have a feeling that we can win it, and I'm not gonna have a loser mentality like, it's over unless you just do this. It's over unless you just no. Do everything in your power. Whether it's just unsubscribing, whether it's just buying all physical, whether it's getting your voices out there to the lawmakers to let them know what's going on. Every little bit helps. Regardless of who you are and what you play It doesn't matter. As long as you feel it in your heart, you know that what Sony is doing is wrong. It's all that matters to me. Yeah, people talk about something. Oh, they're frauds, and this is a fraud, and that's a fraud, and this a fraud. I don't know who's a fraud and who's not a fraud, and I don't care about who's a fraud or not. What I care about is the message getting out there for people to know what's going on with Sony. And for this is the thing: the more the message get out there, the bigger the problem becomes for Sony. Regardless of a fraud says it or not, regardless if a person's a PC player or not, regardless if somebody doesn't like this physical or not. Because I seen people that don't like physical still support it. They're like, you know what? Hey, I'm not played physical, but at the same time, hey, I feel for y'all. I feel for you guys. Some of them are like that, and they will talk about the situation. Like, look, maybe back in their time period, they used to play physical, but they just end up going digital. But they okay, understand and relate. Some of them are like that. I'm not gonna say here. I like every single person that's on digital just hate physical and call them frauds and this, I'm not doing that, bro. Every little bit helps. Simple as that, bro. Yeah, I just think it's just crazy to like turn down voices to be heard and people to help the cause in their own certain ways, you know? And like I said again, you want to talk about somebody hitting the wallet and hit them in the pockets. Believe me, they're going to be hitting the pockets in multiple ways with them lawsuits, multiple ways to unsubscribing to other people, and also people not buying a PS6. And also, these developers it might end up skipping Sony with physical games and saying, you know what, forget you guys. We're not gonna put physical, or we're not gonna put digital on your console because you're messing. You're making our image look. That's another thing too. Marlon Elimination. You sit there and told people not to stop going into the comment section on everything Sony does and leaving comments with this, especially the Wolverine thing. My nigga, check this out. If that was the case, if it's not doing anything to hurt Sony, then why are these developers coming here sitting there saying that it's hurting their brand, it's hurting their sales, it's gonna hurt their image with their shareholders because everybody is tearing their games down. That's under Sony's watch, my nigga. So what do you think's gonna happen with these developers? Hmm. They might, I don't know, skip Sony. Go to PCs, Xbox, and Switch too. And don't get me wrong, I am a PlayStation guy. But at the same time, Sony needs to learn a lesson. They need to learn a lesson that you cannot treat your players like trash, like nothing. They don't talk to people. They don't acknowledge this. They sit there and tell the other people, "Oh, our players, we don't need to talk to them. They're okay with our with our output about our decision. Sorry, with our decision. They're okay with that. What you mean we're okay with that? They didn't run us no kind of anything about the situation. They didn't tell us anything. They just did it on their own. We don't mean anything to all we are to these niggas are just dollars and nickels. That's all we are to these people. They nickel and dime us with everything. Oh yeah, I'm on fire tonight though. I'm up. I don't just the more I see Horoki the Toki's face on a thumbnail, I just smile and I grin. You know what? I'm seeing more YouTubers putting that nigga's face out there. So all I kept on seeing was just Jim Ryan. Not Jim Ryan. Oh yeah, Jim Ryan, Herman Host. Jim Ryan, Herman Host. Nah, nigga. Forget Jim Ryan. Forget Herman Host. The real problem is Horoki Toki and his boss, Wendy Becker. That's that broad's name. That's the chairman of all chairmen in that PlayStation company, right? She's in charge of Horoki Toki. You see what I'm saying? They need to fire her as well as Horoki Toki. You need to start putting her face on stuff as well as his face, right? Get it. You know what? I'm gonna do it tonight. On one of my future thumbnails, you want to start seeing her face. Wendy Becker needs to be fired right before Horoki Toki needs to be fired. They need to be fired. And whoever comes in their place better not have this. They better not have the same mentality as these niggas. They need to be fired too. They keep putting in people in these positions that do not care about gaming in whatsoever shape or way form at all. They don't care about us. They don't care about the gamers. All they care about is maximize. Go watch some Horoki Toki's videos. Everything he always talk about, maximize this, maximize that. Oh, synergy with PC, maximize. That's all he talk about. Then once you hear him say, you know what the PlayStation fans we have, we want to go ahead and give them, I don't know, 2 months of free plus. How about I don't know, we're gonna lower the prices of plus. Or we're gonna lower the prices of these consoles so y'all can buy these consoles. We're gonna lower the price of the PS5 Pro. Never heard him say that, right? But maximize this and maximize that. Maximize, maximize. Never even talk about a game like, okay, first party wise, what games that PlayStation fans like the most and we want to make a part two of it. Or a classic game from back in the day that we loved. Never once you hear them talking about nothing like that. I never heard the word game come out of their mouth unless it's about going to another console or maximizing it. Nothing as far as like a gamer's point of view of like having fun with a game. And I understand because yeah, he's a businessman, but at the same time, it's like they don't care about the gaming at all. Besides how much money they get out of our pockets, that's all they care about. The whole, you know what? And I feel like it's the whole staff. It ain't just him. All of them are in on that. They see Sony as a meal ticket, nothing more. That's it. Cause you know why? When he first came in there, he gutted everybody out of that studios. Besides for Sony Monica, did they even hit Insomniac? Didn't they? Did they gut some of Insomniac as well too? I think they did. They took some people out of Insomniac, if I ain't mistaken. So like, he don't care, man. Same with what's the name, brother name? Armor, Asha. Same with her. Like, they put in people in these positions now. That's all about money. That's it. Maximizing, cutting the costs, firing people, hiring people, firing people, hiring. Well, it ain't was just hiring. It was more about firing. You know. And if you think about it though, Sony started losing more sales when they started putting games on PC. And when Jim Ryan left, you know what? They was losing sales slower though, right? It was at a slower pace of losing sales. Because Jim Ryan said, you know what, you got 4 years to buy a game on PC. So the console still was being sold pretty decently, but it wasn't as fast as they wanted to be. But it was still selling well enough for them to get close to 90 million to 100 million subscribers. I mean, sellers, right? But if you notice it, when Jim Ryan left, those sales dropped faster than the speed of light. Like it slowed down, and they had us thinking that oh the PS5 Pro is selling, oh the PS5 Pro is selling like hotcakes. The PS5 Pro this, the PS5 Pro that. But yeah, we still selling 92 million, 93 million sales. So it's like to me the PS5 Pro wasn't selling nothing. It was all yap, all talk. Say Marlon Jimenez, you want to talk about this all yap and all talk? So let's have what happened with the PS5 Pro. It is all yep about it, all talk about buying it. Ain't nobody buying that shit. Ain't nobody buying that crap. No PS5 Pro like that, bro. It was all fake and frauds. Yeah, I could explain that shit about the PS5 Pro too as well. It's all fake and frauds. Everybody buying that shit like that, bro. If it did, why ain't no 100 million? Right? PS5 Pro, look. He was doing showing pictures of PS5 Pro, so all in the pictures of Twitter. Yeah, I got my PS5 Pro. Got my PS5 Pro. He was like, "Wow, damn, really? Everybody buy all these pros?" But yeah, we still at 93 million sales. Guess someone selling like that, huh, man? I guess it wasn't selling like that. The PS5 Pro. But anyway, back to the subject though. The fight's gonna keep going, whether people like it or not. Whether you're mad because Sony is looking really bad in the spotlight as they should. Hold on for a second. All right, back. As they should. They should look bad. And I'm glad that people like Tyrone Magnus is out here showing everything that it goes wrong with Sony. I'm glad he's doing that. He's not sitting here and sugarcoating shit and trying to make it seem like we as a people don't have no power. And we are besides, oh, okay, just unsubbing this and him in the wallet. And people are doing that. And they're telling us that we're not enough. You're not enough. They don't care about what you're saying, Marlon Emanation. You're not enough. You're a small majority of people, minority of people compared to the digital. Nigga, please. All you doing is flip flopping, and all you doing is like pretty much um trying to play both sides. You're trying to be on Sony's side, as I'm saying that kind of crap. You're not enough, and all you doing is just trying to discourage people with that crap. But then you also you sit there and say, "Him in the pockets, unsubscribe, unsubscribe, unsubscribe," and people are doing that. They're doing everything in all directions. Everybody's in all kinds of directions right now, bro. You know, they're hitting them in the directions of the pocket. They're hitting them in the directions of lawsuits. They're hitting the directions of sub. They're hitting them in the direction of hitting the comment section. Basically, everybody's firing at all cylinders. And in my opinion, I don't think it's like that. I think that you try to act like you do care about the community, you're fighting the back of this crap, but at the same time, it's like you don't want to see Sony bend the knee. Like, look how he made that song. Talking about some got him, got him, got him. How does that help us as the community? Talking about some, oh look, Sony said they got you. They like what? I'm sorry, that song is whack. Well, to me, while you making that song, got him, what you're doing to me is you're encouraging Sony to have the pride that they have in the mindset of we are just their slaves. That we have no minds to fight for ourselves. That we just want to bend the knee and just say, yeah, Sony, no. I would never make a song like that to boost up Sony's ego. Someone got him, got him. Sorry, that's a stupid song, and I don't like it. It's a song of in the mindset of I'm defeated, I'm weak and defeated, and at the same time, we're seeing people fight these niggas in all directions. Like I said, lawsuits coming out. I would have made a song called "Lawsuit, Lawsuit, Lawsuit" or "Sue 'em, Sue 'em, Sue 'em, Sue 'em, Sue 'em." Make something to combat your damn. You know what I'm saying? Like what you do is you make a song that combat your oppressor, not support them. Why the hell you make a song to support your oppressor by saying "got him, got him, got him, got him"? I'm sorry, and I got him, got him, got him. That's the dumbest thing to do. I'm sorry, but in my opinion, if you're fighting for the cause, you make a song to encourage your player base, to encourage the community to fight against what's going on with Sony. Not the other way around. And you know what's weird about that too? Like you make a Helix song supportive for that, supportive in a positive way with Helix. Helix that wants you, Helix that needs you. All that time the PS6 before the PS6 came out, you could have made a song positive for the PS6, right? But positive for the PS6 back then. Before we got this nigga that knew about the physical backlash, right? But you wait till somebody do something negative with the PS6. So you make a song that's gonna pretty much give boost Sony's ego of being a villain to us by saying got him, got him, got him. It's just the weirdest thing to do, in my opinion. Back then, you could have made a song positive for the PS6 like you did for the Helix. But yeah, you want to make your song do something stupid and nasty and still boost up their ego with nastiness for against the community. When you should be making a song that's like in favor for the community, saying, you know what, sue them, sue them, sue them, sue them, sue them, spot them, back them, tag them. So I don't know, like It's just weird that you think it's the way you think sometimes. It's like I said, it's like a mentality of I'm being defeated. We've been defeated. Just give up. Wave the white flag. And all you can keep saying is unsubscribe him, unsubscribe him. Y'all frauds and fake, frauds and fake, frauds and fake. But yet, if the people are frauds and fake, we will not be seeing fucking CNN. We will not be seeing Fox 5 News. We will not be seeing all these big channels showing what Sony's doing wrong. That means to me that rah 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 you keep on talking about is being heard from the other people around the world to do something about it. Especially lawmakers out here to do something about it with Sony, investigate Sony and sue Sony. So to me, in my opinion, the rah 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 and the blah 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 actually worked because you know what? People are being heard from around the world. It's called voices. You know what I'm saying? Voices are being heard, and you know what? You talking about Sony don't care about that? If they don't care about it, I guess they don't care about getting sued too, huh? No, I guess they don't care about being sued for $485 million. I guess they don't care about being sued by other multiple people that's out here that's ready to sue them, right? So it seems like to me, man, Parkers are being hurt by some kind of way. They got to go to court, right? You got to pay money for court costs. You got to pay the fees off. If they get sued, they got to pay them off. You feel what I'm saying? So like, they're getting hit in all kind of ways. Don't forget about the developers out here. Well, they don't like what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Even their own Insomniac. Not Insomniac, what was it? The Last of Us niggas. Naughty Dog even sit there and said, show the physical disc of collections of The Last of Us. Santa Monica sit there and said that, look, we're going to support the physical disc with LaFay. So like to me, Sony is a little scared because why would she sit there and let us know about something that's coming out in the physical disc, and we already know about this shit already ahead of time because it doesn't start till the 28th of 2028. I'm sorry, as far as the digital future for them. So make that makes sense. Once you got Marlon Gibson trying to make it seem like what's going on with us, the community, isn't doing anything for Sony to like sweat bullets, but yet this is the thing. He's someone like we haven't heard anything. Anybody come out and sit there and say that they're losing million subscribers or all that kind of stuff. How would they know? So they don't talk about telling anybody anything about the situation. Is it in the leaks? Of course not, because it didn't happen till just now. So like, how would they know if Sony losing mass subscribers or not? Wouldn't that tell you that when they start unsubbing, when they start giving out 50% off PS Plus subscriptions? Wouldn't that tell you that they are losing like a lot of subscribers that way because of their actions? Just saying. I'm just looking at it in that way. If they're losing massive amounts of subscribers, wouldn't you want to put out PS Plus at a cheaper price? I'm just saying. I wouldn't do. But the thing about it though, if they listen to another thing too, right? If they Sony said they didn't care, why give them that? What you call it, Marlon? The olive branch to come back in. Remember, right? Didn't they sit there and say that majority of their players are are digital players? Hold on. Didn't they sit there and say that um they don't need physical players if they leave they will be okay, right? If that's the case, why are they offering olive brands, as you call it, Marlon, olive brands to the players that's unsubscribing? Why? Remember, they got more than enough players to sustain them and keep them going to the future, right or wrong. So why even offer 50% off to the players then? Why? Remember, right? Sony doesn't care about you. The Sony doesn't care what you think. Sony this, Sony this, and that. But yet, why offer that? They don't care, right? So to me, something doesn't sound right. Because if Sony doesn't care, we shouldn't be seeing no 50% off people playing losing actually like cancel the subscription. I'm just saying. That's just my opinion. You feel me? So like to me, as I've been saying before, Sony is bluffing. Well, you know, as I said in the last video, I might have said this video with Rex earlier. Sony is an illusion, bro. They paint a picture of how they want to stand mighty and tall and strong and don't care about anybody, what they say, what they think, and actually, they actually do. And you know what, in my opinion too, is like, remember how they said that a lot of those investors, well, a lot of the people that work at the company, like Horoki and Toki, they went in there and they started selling their shares, right? In my opinion, they sold those shares because they want to have that money for those lawsuits. I'm telling you. They tell you every little bit of money they can for those lawsuits, but they better be going for. Think about it. Lawsuits are coming up where they got paid $485 million if they lose that case. Get the lawyers ready, bro, because they're gonna have a hell of a time, trying to get the stuff out over there. You know what I'm saying? So like, keep that in mind. Like they're gonna go through some stuff, bro. They're gonna go through some stuff. You know what I'm saying? Trust me on that. So yeah, it's gonna be crazy. You know what I'm saying? So, whoo, I don't know what to say, man. Like, uh, Sony, y'all are not who y'all think you are. You sit here, lie to your fans. You want to be quiet. Don't tell nobody anything. That's another thing I don't like about these people either. They don't talk. They lie. When I say lie, they lie in their numbers. They lie in their data. Put it that way. That's how they lie. They don't tell us anything, but they lie in their data when it comes to like showing us tweets and data about certain things, right? 85% of sales are digital, which is a lie. Bruh. And then like you got other people which are so-called analysts that sitting there using the numbers and justifying the situation. Same thing with Jason Schreier. He's using the numbers as well. Like don't talk about the actual real numbers that's put up through the Summit reports of what happened, right? So, in my opinion, let's just say that we as a community actually buy more and sell more this year, right? In physical sales. How we don't know for sure, so they're gonna sit there and take those numbers again and lie about those numbers as well. So they can push like the the digital is outselling outselling the physical. Now, but Grand Theft Auto 6, they got all that. They got it that way because like it's all just digital anyway. You see what I'm saying? So like, how is that fair when you don't have a physical copy of that version? I was about that bad boy physically. I was about this on. I was about this on. It's all mine forever physically. Yes, I was about this on physically. I haven't bought it yet, or I haven't even pre-ordered that shit yet, or not haven't did anything with that yet. It's a digital copy. Like, why do it so early when it's not going nowhere? I don't understand. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, as far as the physical, or, digital version, like, especially a game that big, you want that joint to be physical. Just saying, for me anyway. But back to the illusion with Sony. They're full of illusions, lies and illusions, bro. I'm sorry, dog. Like, and it's the weird thing about them too as well is like they lost their love. If they, I don't think they ever had love for their brand. I don't think so. These guys here never had love in the first place for the brand. They don't. If you think about it, as soon as Horoki Toki came in there into the Sony's gaming division, he just started firing people left and right. He was. And I don't even think it was about them like, ballooning the games, nothing like that. Nah. He just wanted to cut costs completely, period. He want to maximize other stuff. So you just cut people off, bro. And it's sad. And yet, people will still blame, oh, Jim Ryan. Jim Ryan. That's all they know is the word Jim Ryan. This is weird, dude. Like, Jen Ryan could be dead for 25 years. They're still playing Jen Ryan. Could be dead for 50. It's just weird. Like, they will protect these Japanese people with their life. With their life. They die for them. Because they Japanese. But anyway, guys, this is Burlesque guy. I'm signing out. One love. God bless. And tell me your thoughts, how you feel about the situation. All right? One love and peace. About our decision. Hello, this is Broly S. Video. This video, like, but I didn't, but I didn't grow up on this kind of Sony that. Hello, this is Broly SS Guide, and I'm back with another video. This video, I'd like to talk about a few subjects that pretty much caught my interest, and here we go. Anyway, so one of the subjects I want to talk about is how we got YouTubers out here, Marley Nation, blaming people for buying um, $100 versions of games and Grand Theft Auto, and you talking about, yeah, pretty much that you got sold for the trap for buying Grand Theft Auto 6 at $100, but yet you was on your stream that night telling people to buy the most expensive version. You dead ass was doing that. Watched you sit there and tell people you are not a GTA 6 fan or GTA fan unless you pay for the Ultimate Edition. But yeah, you got a nerd call somebody fake frauds, and this and that. And you were the main one telling them to purchase the most expensive one in the store. Make that make sense? And then the way you talk in your streams, dude, it's like 1 minute you're for the fans for what's going on, but then the next minute you're sitting there doing this dumbass song, talking about some got him, got him, got him, got him, got him. Dude, you're weird. You pretty much help usher the games coming in at $100 prices, sitting there telling people, I would happily pay over $100 for Grand Theft Auto. I would happily pay this. Now, that's you. You know what I'm saying? Like, now these games might be up to $100, and you talking about some, well, Sony fans make a lot of money. So the analyst says that crap, right? An analyst says that Sony's fan base makes the most money out of all consoles. What? It's like he believes every little thing somebody say to him, whether it's Sony or an analyst. But if somebody proves him wrong, then that's the lie right there, right? He doesn't want to believe the lie. He doesn't want to believe somebody else got to say something that counters it. Anything that counters what they're saying, oh, that's just wrong and this and that, blah 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 blah. Right? Come on, dude. Seriously, it's like you act like you work for Sony. Why you worry about how much money they gonna be bringing in? Oh my God, guys, they're gonna be bringing in so much money over these $100 games and $130 games and 150. It's like you're excited for it. It's weird, dude. You're weird. I'm sorry. It's like you sound like you're so excited to see people pay more money for less. Because the games you're talking about, the people are paying for the most are ultimate and digital, whatever you want to call it. But those are not standard. And I don't really believe that everybody's paying that much money for that kind of game, for ultimate and digital. I don't think majority of the people of PlayStation fans are doing that, right? If that's the case, then why is the PlayStation sales down? Remember he said this. Remember he said earlier, right? So yeah, the analysts say that the fanboys spend the most money are PlayStation fans. If that's the case, then why aren't the PlayStations hitting the 130 million already, 150 million already, 120? Why is it hit over? Why is it taking so long for it to hit them prices? I'm sorry, those sales. Even before the price hike, Sony had sit there and said that the PlayStation sales had slowed down. Before the tariffs and all that even hit, that's what happened. So you can't go by what these analysts say talking about or everybody, talking about some all PlayStation fanboys had the most money. That's not. Yeah, you believe everything you want to believe, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you almost act like you work for Sony the way you be talking. Yeah, guys, they gonna be making so much money off of everybody, off of y'all, off of us, and why would you be happy about that? I mean, playing a song after you talking about Sony, talking about you're not gonna leave Sony, got him, got him, got him, got him, got him, got him. When people try to break away from Sony, you talking about something, pull them back in and blah 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 blah. It's like, whose side are you really on, dude? I mean, I stand with MBG. Whether y'all hate that nigga or not, at least that boy got his mind straight. He ain't out here um saying one thing and saying another and acting like he's part of Sony's like payroll. I mean, yeah, like you're part of Sony's payroll. And the song that you're saying about got him, got him, got him, it's pretty much a song for Sony to. You're pretty much like giving Sony the okay, like yeah, we're dirty, we're nasty, we're evil, and we're proud of it. It's like you're condoning it, like you're giving them the approval to act that way. And then you're smiling and dancing all around like a little jackrabbit doing the dance and saying the song got him, got him. You should be ashamed of yourself. And then you sit there telling people, oh, people sit here complaining about the prices of games going to $100 and higher. I don't feel sorry for them because they got money. You supposed to be a Christian. You supposed to be have the Lord in your soul and your heart. And you sitting there on mic, on live TV, and a lot of your fan base now, your newer fan base, they're pretty much on your side, as I've been seeing lately. And these are mostly PC players. I've been noticing that. Or if it's not, it's mostly PC and also digital players as well. The ones that's all digital. They've been pretty much supporting you with how you're acting about this situation. It's like you're not even, bro. I'm sorry, like I can't. It's hard to watch you anymore, dude. It's really hard to watch you turn into this like Sony kiss ass. That's what you pretty much are acting like, a Sony kiss ass, bro. Like you just kiss the ass of Sony. Everything they do, you kiss it. Anything that's negative and hurts the player base, you sit there and you mock them, and you sit there and make these songs mocking the people that actually want to see physical discs and see Sony change direction. I don't care how many discs you show to us, but you can still be 1,000 discs you own. You can do that to me. Show that to me, right? And it doesn't mean anything when you sit there and act that way. It's like you show one thing, but you do another with your actions. Though they're singing a song, got him, got him, got him, got him. When people are literally trying to fight the cause, fight for the disc to come back and make Sony change their ways and be more a better corporation and be more understanding and talk to people. They don't do that with nobody. And then what's going on now? Where they talk about how even their Sony's employees are being treated badly, and they're not allowed to say anything, right? And you will sit there pretty much um on the Sony side with that too, almost some yeah, Sony said they gotta shut up. Oh, this is sad. This is bad. Oh my god, this is so bad, right? But you gonna sit there and act like you're Sony, about some yeah, you better not say about that game, about no physical games. You better be quiet, shut up, buy police up. Like, why act like that way? It's like you treat everything that's what Sony does as if like it's just normal everyday life that as they should do it. Like it's just okay. Like this pretty much you act like it's just so nonchalant. Like, oh well, it is what it is. Like, if they gotta do it, we gotta do it too, as far as like being a customer of Sony. Nigga, we put money in their pockets. We do got the power to say we do really got the power to shut them down if we really wanted to. You know. And another thing too is I'm not no PC player. I'm an actual PlayStation player. I'm getting sick of seeing people talking about some fake outrage and it's not Sony fans. This ain't the Sony I grew up on. I don't know about y'all with this digital shit, but I didn't grow up on this kind of Sony that sit there and treat the customers this badly and don't even care about them. This is not my Sony, bro. I mean, this is not my Sony. And you know what? From what I heard about from the lady Alana Pierce, how they're gonna not change the direction. I'm still gonna support physical, regardless of what they do. Because you know why? I believe in owning my games, regardless of them changing the direction or not. I will buy physical until physical doesn't exist in any shape or way form. I will keep supporting physical disc. Whether they don't bring the disc version back or not, I will continue with. I will buy old retro games and games that I missed from modern games, from modern from the day from our time today. You know, so I think it's just sad. And you know what? And these I see it's more than him. These YouTubers are on code when it comes to defending Sony, bruh. They on code, man. Like all of them got the same type of like uh defense. You know what I mean? Like, oh well, oh well, Sony did. It's like they're all on the Sony bandwagon to defend them. They're just defending Sony, dude. Like Sony is really doing some awful stuff to their player base, and they're gonna be doing even more awful stuff once they get their way. Hopefully, the lawsuits will kick in and stop them. So that's one thing we keep forgetting about is these lawsuits that's in place. You know. Another thing I want to talk about is this too: how Sony is so calm and relaxed. Remember how we heard about how they wanted to. They said something about even if they lose half of their player base as far as physical, that they will be okay. You know why they're saying that? In my opinion, you want to know why they're saying that? It ain't the fact that they can just grow their player base instantly that fast. Because if that was the case, there would be over 100 million, way over 100 million players right now as far as consoles, right? Think about this. They are way too comfortable with losing their player base like that, right? So what I'm thinking is this. Remember how they talked about, they're gonna take players games off of PC because they want to focus more on their console, right? Okay. But what if PC is pretty much like their safety net? Because think about it. There's already an established player base there already, right? And they're gonna control how they selling money to people on those digital players, get games, right? So what if they let us go as far as the physical players, which they are doing, and they will embrace the PC players as far as physical, as far as digital, and I'm sorry, as far as like, well, PC players are only digital anyway, so that's the point right there, though. PC players are already established there, regardless of them doing that long 6 year thing. And you think about this too. Okay, let's just say if they don't put it on first party games, right? I'm sorry, like yeah, first party games, but they're barely making that anyway. If you really think about it, they're motherfuckers on live service games now. So PC players will make up a majority of those sales through PC digitally. You see what I'm saying? That's how they're going to get over us as far as physical gamers. PC players. Think about that. they're not pumping out first party games like they used to, like fast and in bulk, 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 games a year. They're not doing that no more. Why did they say 1 game a year? Why is that? Keep in mind they don't own Call of Duty, and they don't own Grand Theft Auto. So that's my assumption. That's my opinion. That's what they're gonna do. I'm not. I mean, if you think about it, that's what they're pretty much doing. That's a fact that they're not gonna be putting out multiple games a year, and it's a fact that they want to do live service games the most. So where's the other? So basically, those games are going to PC and what PlayStation. Think about this too as well, right? Remember how they said Marathon sold more on PC? It didn't sell that much on PlayStation. Remember that? Helldivers 2 sold more on PC as well, right? They're big on PC to pull through, not us. PC. That's what they're banking on. And they're going to continue to make a whole lot more live service games to go to PC players. Because remember, PC players have over 100 million. They got way more players than we got. Way more players than us, right? There's already established player base there. That's why us as physical gamers don't really matter to them. Now let's just say they didn't have PC. Um, that's why they're not letting PC go, as far as like live service stuff, because they're going to cover for the physical players. See what I'm saying? That's how they're going to cover the physical players. PC. That's why they don't care. That's why they're not going to say anything, because they will continue pumping out more and more PC ports of live service games. Yep. So, and also those prices are going to be expensive as well for them too. I'm assuming. Oh, then about with PC players, they're going to be paying online. It sucks, guys, but that's what I see happening right now, though. You know, back to Marlon Elimination, dude. I'm sorry, but you're a lost dude. Like you're just lost, bro. You try to like get all smart and everything, but when it comes to you are, but what's saying is like you just make crazy decisions. Like why would you make a song called "Got 'Em, Got 'Em, Got 'Em, Got 'Em, Got 'Em," and the company is showing you they don't care about us. And people tell you, look, we're going to step away from this. We don't want to do this. And yet you still got them, got them, got them, got them. They're gonna come right back to Sony, and they're gonna come right back to Sony. You know why you're doing that? Because you don't want to lose your player base. That's why. And the reason why you talk about people with so much money on the Sony side because you want to like, pump money into your pockets on your stream. That's why you do that for yourself and for PlayStation to continue to be a brand. So that which I want them to be as a brand as well, but like at the same time, they deserve all the smoke, regardless of them being a brand. But see, like I said, back to you, trying to get all the money you can out of your company. I'm sorry, out of your customers. I'm sorry, your what do you call it? Your subscribers. You trying to get all the money you can out of them. That's why you keep on saying, yeah, Sony fan bro makes the most money, blah blah blah. And the analysts say this, the analysts say that, the analysts say this, the analysts say that. And it's like you be everything an analyst say, huh? Anything that supports Sony's cause, you believe it wholeheartedly. That's the problem. I don't like what you was like anything that defeats anything that goes against Sony. You talk about it briefly, then you just move on to the next subject. You don't have no kind of like deep thought into it. You know what I mean? It's just also this, but when it's something negative for the fans, oh my God, the pictures on the screen, you gotta read everything off and then tell us, yeah, got him, got him, got him, got him, got him. People sitting there telling you like, look, bro, we're done with Sony. I don't believe you. You got them. I mean, yeah, it might be somebody there that might come back. Okay, they might. But I think majority of the fans are being serious. Like what happened to the Xbox? When people got mad about the Xbox, what happened with that? The Xbox started dying off. The console even saw that well in the following generations. You think the same thing? You think Sony can't go through that same problem? And Microsoft's a way bigger company than Sony, as far as what money wise. Trillion dollar company go to their knees with the with their console sales. And you really think that Sony cannot go that route? Keep thinking that. You guys gonna find out. Y'all like definitely gonna find out, especially when they heard about how they're not gonna change course no more, ever like at all. Okay, they're gonna find out. Well, again, know about the Merlin. I think it's just sad, dude. Like, call yourself a Christian, and you talking about so you don't want to hear that nobody can't afford these games or they're too expensive and this and that, blah blah blah. But yeah, you be the main one on your channel talking about some. I buy the game if y'all buy it for me. Nah, you got the money too, right? Don't you got the money for yourself? So why are you asking your subscribers to buy it for you when? But yeah, you complain about other people complaining about the price hikes going up for games. They shouldn't complain about that, but you don't mind asking your subscribers almost all the time to buy you a game. I don't have the funds for that right now, guys. Nah, you big dog, right? You big dog. You go ahead and buy yourself. Why you asking your subscribers to buy your games? You big dog. It's your PlayStation fanboy yourself, PlayStation fan yourself, then. So where's your big money at? Why you gotta ask your fan base for all your stuff? To have stuff in that room for your fan base. The PS6 fan base. I know he didn't ask for that, but that was just a little weird how that is somebody just came in your room. You know that's the weirdest thing to me right there? That's how that dude came to your stream and bought you a PS6. Don't even know you from Adam Eve. I ain't never seen that dude for you in my life until that day he bought you that PS6. And like I said, it's just a weird thing. It's like I've been going to that nigga stream for the longest time, and like I never seen Skillful. That's his name, Skillful. I never seen Skillful in Marlon's stream at all like that back in the day, back in the PS5 era, like when it was selling PS5 when it first came out. I've seen Skillful in that place like that before. Unless it was in his room under a different name, probably. But I don't remember no Skillful back then. And all of a sudden, like when that PS5 Pro came, that's when Skillful came out of nowhere and just bought my PS5 Pro. And I think that's just a little strange how somebody that barely even know you like that just bought you a PS5 Pro just for the hell of it. Just being a nice guy. And I'm not hating, but the thing is like this is a little weird to me though. You know what I'm saying? But having stuff in your room is already paid for by your subscribers. So you shouldn't be asking telling people how to feel about paying for expensive games. Well, you got pretty much everything you own almost like through a digital code from Sony, or your subscribers had to buy it for you themselves because you didn't want to pay for it. But yeah, you're a child of God telling people you don't feel sorry for them for not wanting to pay us more money. Where's the child of God coming from in that part? Huh? Not everybody has the money to get that. And that's another thing too, right? You were sitting there saying how and the analyst was telling people that Sony fanboys had the biggest pockets of money, right? But if that's the case, then why didn't they buy these overpriced PS5s, right? You got all the money, but why didn't I go out there in droves buying the PS5 Pro and the PS OG PS5 for 650 for the OG PS5 and for $900, 899 for PS5 Pro? Why is the sales slowing down? Man, that makes sense. But remember now, they're the wealthiest. They got the most cash. If that's the case, then PS5 should be selling out the shit out the sales right now, right? Why does Sony? You talking about some? Oh no, Sony needs to bring down the price of the PS5. Remember you said that a while back. PS5 Pro way too expensive. What for who? For who? Remember what you were saying is the fan base is so got so much money, so much money. Y'all can pay what $130 for a game and over $100 for a game and us kids then keep the same energy then they can pay for it. They can pay for a $900 console, right? But what's going on though? What happened with that? Oh, that's right. Didn't the analysts come in and sit there and say that? Hold on. Didn't the report from Sony go back and say that? Oh yeah, they're losing a lot of sales on the PS5. They're 25% down in sales. I don't want to hear that. Well, then he goes and say like, well, and they just Sony all companies. We're not talking about all. We're talking about Sony. He always wanted to deflect it to another company. We're not talking about other companies. Are those other companies market leaders? How about that? Since you want to deflect something, I would deflect right back to you. Are those other companies market leaders for gaming? I wait. I wait on that one. No, they're not. They're not market leaders or anything. Sony's a market leader, right? But yet their consoles are declining in sales because they're overpriced. People cannot afford it. And the same thing with these raggedy games that we putting out. They're overpriced and people can't afford it. And that's how it goes, bro. But you act like you got the little Sony pay badge on and you making money off of Sony by, sticking up for them and all this crap, bro. We're gonna see how long that lasts when the price of that PS6 don't sell as well. You know, what are they gonna do then? And what makes it so? What's the weirdest thing though about this is like they know majority of the company right now is 65% PlayStation, and that's not. I think that's another reason why they're doing this, right? Because I think that a lot of stuff they had before they owned, they got rid of it, right? And whatever they got rid of that was so like TVs thing they was doing and some other stuff, right? They stopped doing all that stuff. And I think what they're trying to do is make up the cost of them losing that stuff with Sony's overpriced consoles and overpriced games. That's how they go for the loss of them with their TVs. Remember, those TV consoles were $1,000 and plus, right? So just they're using pretty much the PS6 console now in place of their TVs being not so. See what I'm saying? That's my opinion. I'm just assuming this, right? But to me, that tells me that it shows me more reason why they're doing it. Ain't because of market prices, it's because they have majority of their game the majority of their franchise is pretty much now PlayStation. You know, that's just my opinion. I could be wrong, but I think that's why they're really doing the expensive overpriced PS6. And they would, and you know what? And the reason why they don't want to give us the digital no more, sorry, the physical no more, is because that way they can make way more money off of that. Especially since they lost their TV division, right? Whatever they did with that, and some other stuff. So, yeah, yeah. But anyway, guys, that's my little rant. It's a bit weird for a lot of these YouTubers. They don't care if the console the physical games go away. All they care about is Sony, how much money Sony makes, how much money Rockstar makes. That's another thing I want to say too. They put all their eggs on Rockstar. Notice that? Eh, They don't talk about the first party games that's not being sold like that. And that's another thing the shareholders should be checking into is like, okay, these are huge third party developers that would normally make this kind of stuff anyway. If it was digital or non digital, they would make that kind of money anyway, right? What they should be asking, the shareholders should be asking them is, show me your first party games being sold this way. Show me your second party games being sold this way. If not, then continue making this, please. That's what I would do, you know. And they're sitting there counting DLCs and all this stuff. That that's crazy. But anyway, guys, this is all I got to say about the situation and how Marley Nation, to me, doesn't really care about the situation. How you gonna be annoyed for somebody saying no this, no buy, and just mock them like that? No this, no buy. No this, no buy. He talks so weird anyway. And then like he he's pretty much trying to like make everybody just not have the energy to like, even boycott anymore. He's trying to make y'all make us um excuse me. He's trying to make us like retire from doing it, like just give up and just roll over, play dead, and kneel before Zod. Just kneel before Sony. Yep, kneel before Sony. I'm not doing that, bro. I'm not doing that. I will keep buying my physical games so the wheels fall off. As far as the PS6, I don't know if I want to buy that thing or not no more. I don't even know. I really don't. The all digital console. It sucks, man. I'm gonna keep my PS5. This ain't going nowhere. Might not give me another PS5 that's have a backup one. Alright, guys, that's all I gotta say though. This is Looking Bonus. This is Brilliant's Guide signing out. And also make sure that you keep up with what's going on and watch some of these YouTubers like change their attitudes of how, 1 minute they're like, they're for us and everything, and yeah, we blah 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 blah, and then the next minute they're like all for Sony, dog. Like, come on. Anyway, guys, that's what I think we gotta say before I go. If it was so fake, right? If it's not doing anything, then how in the world did everything go to CNN News, the Fox 5 News, to even lawyers about to sue Sony? That's telling me that it's not fake. That's telling me that we are being heard. So I don't know what's going on with this. Oh, you're not being heard. Nobody cares. Okay, see, like the lawyers care. Some of these other countries care, like Brazil, Mexico, and another place. I think it's France, right? I see they care. They're making a stand. So anyway, we're not alone. What it is, they want us to feel like we're alone. They don't want to. They want us to feel like we had nobody that's fighting. That's going to fight for us. We need the same energy for the United States of America for somebody to step in and say, "No, you can't do this." Other than that, all right, guys, this is Bless of God signing out. One love, peace, God bless. Also, if you agree with me about what I said today, that's in everything that I talked about. Let me know in the comment section how you feel. Do you agree or disagree with what I said? Are you a physical player or you a digital player only? Or physical player only, or you play physical and digital? What's your stance on that? I do both, but now I'm pretty much more physical. I got a lot of physical copies of games. So I will continue to do more physical games in the future, now and tomorrow and whenever. So like yeah. Um anyway guys, I'm done. I'm about to go ahead and just call it a night. So peace, God bless, and one love. Ghost.